Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer 2019 Fall Tournament. Randomizer Tournament. Oh, perfect start already. This is Game 2 of the match between Humbugh and GFE 12. This is 1-0 in the favor of Humbugh in Group A. And today we have a map compass shovel that GFE has elected to choose. I am Professor Render, and I'm joined by Roland Tankier. How are you doing today?
I am doing fine. Was a bit busy the last few days, so couldn't really enjoy render as much, but now I have time and hope to see an exciting race. So, yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So GFE is fighting for his tournament life right now, as Humbugh, as I said, is up 1-0 in this match. This is currently the elimination round, the losers finals. So if Humbugh takes the game, he will eliminate GFE and will move on to the round of 64. But if GFE manages to win here, we will go to a game 3, and that will be decided who will be moving on to the round of 64.
Yep. Now, Humbugh managed to defeat Zelda in the first round, so actually went on to the winners match, but unfortunately couldn't close it out against Yagamoth. Both games went 2-1, so Humbugh winning 2-1 against Zelda, but then losing 1-2 against Yagamoth. So has done the most possible matches up to this point. So let's see if GFE can force Humbugh to go the distance, or if Humbugh can close out here today.
Yeah, this will be very, very exciting. We should be starting very, very soon. Map compass shovel, and yeah, we are underway right now. Both players starting in Link's house, starting with 300 rupees.
That's a very nice startup. Not only you have enough money to buy bombs immediately, you can also immediately pay off the bottle vendor, and you're a good way on the way to Zora already.
Yeah, GFE making a immediate route divergence. Gonna check out what was on the Lake Hylia Island. I kind of missed what happened. Humbugh getting a full magic from the tier 1 tree pole.
Lake Hylia didn't have anything important, so they won't be coming back for that.
Oh, definitely. 50 rupees in the secret chest, going straight for Uncle, and GFE heading for the eastern area right away. This is a play that I am very surprised that GFE decided to make this, because I mean, with the bombs that he has, he can do Sahasrara right out of the gates here. Humbugh heading for the sanctuary, finding a single rupee there.
Yeah,
and...
so
Go ahead.
Yeah, there are two things about this play specific to MC Shuffle. First of all, since maps and compass are shuffled, we have seen no map checks so far, because there's not really something to get out of it. As key sanity rules are on, without the map, we don't know which dungeon reward a dungeon has for us. And you can not only get the information about the green pendant from Sahasrara, as we just saw as Thief's Town today, but also there are 2 additional items now in each dungeon. So early Eastern play here already could have been a good chance to net you some early items. GFE just not interested in going that far already.
Yeah, with not a lot of items to start off with, this is with only just some bombs to his name. It's really that play is not really favorable right now. Humbugh finding a piece of heart from the mushroom spot, and Lumberjack Cave did not have anything of use, so we're not going to kill Aga 1 just for that. There is a shovel in the thief dropdown.
And we get a 7 quid from Humbugh out of the Lost Woods. So Since there were no bombs to be found, I imagine he is taking the south route, and with that shovel he can already turn that in. So, quick thinking there. GFE, of course, having those bombs already. Probably taking the normal route to Keg, and then maybe checking the shovel after it.
Checking the silver spot right now for 20 rupees. GFE heading straight for Kakariko, and Humbugh gonna just farm up those bombs in that little corner there. GFE, of course, buying the bombs with the 300 rupees that we got from Link's house right out of the gate. So he will not be having too much issues here.
As for Humbugh, he got one bomb, which is enough to at least get the race game if necessary, and if he needs additional bombs, he can just buy those.
So far, nothing in the Blind's hut. Oh, except for a mushroom.
Early fetch quest items. Always interesting to see if they're yielding something. I mean, there was also a small shield in Blind's Hut, but not something runners are really happy about. But Humbugh already up to Zora money now. Getting another 300 rupees out of the back of Tavern.
Yeah, just a few more rupees and we'll have enough money to take care of all the major checks in the game. And we have a compass for Desert Palace, not what GFE really wants, but one of the rods was found, though.
I think that's the fire rod, yeah. Yeah. GFE unfortunately not having gotten that full magic tree pull until now. Has no magic yet, but will just be getting a green goo in the chicken hut here. So
yeah, this is convenient, so that way we can now check the sick kid right in Kakariko and without having to move way too far away. But for a mirror, which is really nice. GFE grabbing that 300 rupees.
Yeah, both runners now doing the checks the other one has already made here. But looks like GFE will be the first one to... Well, maybe not. Still kind of close. But I'd imagine they are heading over to the South Shore next. With that fire rod, full magic bar, you have a decent weapon for Mini Moldon Cave. Even if you have to drink your green potion in GFE's case here.
Yeah, since Humbugh was able to do the Uncle Start, and GFE decided to head straight for Sahasrara instead of going to do the tree pull, he will have to use up that green potion while Humbugh saves some time not doing that.
Well, right, GFE doing that shovel check here after his kick. And I'm interested to see if Humbugh is maybe going for an early mushroom tournament, and if he might be even interested in doing a hard reset here to save the mushroom if necessary. That does not look like it. He's just doing the South Shore first.
Now, I would imagine Humbugh decided not to do so because he hasn't saved and quit yet. My belief is that maybe if he wants, he probably want to save and quit and use that mushroom and then hard reset, so that way he can save that mushroom for a fake powder.
He did that save and crit though just immediately before though from the blind's hut.
Okay,
So
cool.
he could have done it there.
All right, cool.
But of course, it's still just one single check, and saving that mushroom isn't even a good play all of the time.
A Molder and Cave time, a bean in a bottle, and some bombs, and a Book of Medora.
So desert edge open and possibly an item or two in desert. And once we get Dark World access, we have already the ability to check the Bombos tablets to see if there is something on there. And GFE not going over to the soft shore, instead heading for the front of escape first.
Yeah, this is interesting. With 6 bombs, well, the fact that he's got some magic for his fire rod, he'll be able to combo that along with the bombs here, so shouldn't be too difficult. Humbug heading for the Ice Rod Cave. And there's another single rupee.
And from the looks of it, the guards this time have the bomb prize pack, so if you do want some additional bombs here, can just hope for some drops. Yep. Jiffy showing here. Killing the green guard with a bomb, instantly getting a refund, and a blue goo.
Yeah, that is very convenient for GFE. So he can just drink that green potion. He never actually used it because he saved up that green. I got some magic from the pots from the secret chest, looks like. And then he went for it. I'm about gonna do the witch, turning in that mushroom.
Oh, and that is a glove, and I don't imagine there's anyone trying to save that mushroom.
Oh, definitely not at this point. So, and there's the other glove.
Oh boy. So both gloves found merely seconds between each other. So now on through the back of escape. Or probably both are runners. No Dark Mountain in logic just yet, as we didn't find flute or lamp. But the entirety of the escape is in logic.
Yeah, with that fire rod in hand, we are able to head to Dark Cross.
And Humbug is doing that. I am not sure if we saw the map already, so this might not be...
Well,
might
then
not pay off.
again, this is Map Compass Shuffle, so we're going to add another
Oh.
2 item checks anyway.
Yeah, I am completely forgetting that fact already. So yeah, there would have been a map usually here, but it's not today. So
Yeah, this gives a whopping 8 items in Hyrule Castle here because of the fact that well, actually not even 8, it's actually 7. 7 checks, not 8. Because there's only a map, not a compass.
Well, 8 if you count the sanctuary, which is considered as a part of the escape.
And now Humbug is going to head for his front of escape, while GFA is going to grab the Titan's Mitts from the mushroom.
So both run Going for the first glove and now trading places to get the second one. But no moon pulse still. So we might have to head over to Eastern Palace after all. Or we could just pay King Zora a visit. Now unlogic with either of those gloves.
Yeah, and we won't have access to, let's say, the waterfall fairy. Of course, we don't have the flippers for that. We don't even have a moon pearl to water walk in, or at least fake flipper into there and just get a water walk from there. So GFE might just head for the Eastern play right now. Gonna do South Shore. Or unless he hasn't done that already. GFE doing the mirror delete with the blocks. If you spam the mirror while you are pushing a block, the game just straight up removes it because, funnily enough, when you're pushing a tile block or whatever, it actually counts as a sprite when it's in movement.
Yeah, looked like humbugh is taking that book now over to the desert area. One guaranteed check on Ergina, or in Ergina's cave. One guaranteed item on the desert ledge, and up to, yeah, possibly 4 items in desert, depending on where keys lie.
Yeah, in addition to the fact that we have the book, we might also need to be a little bit concerned about the possibility of the dungeon being boots locked.
On the other hand, though, with this being MC Shuffle, even if it is boots locked, there will be at least one check you can grab out of the chest. And as I said, one on Ergina, one on the desert ledge. And you have to find your moon pearls somewhere. The mountain's not in logic. Aga's not in logic. Or not even close to.
Yeah, we haven't found all the materials for Aga 1, so it's looking like, don't take my word for it, but we might not be able to see Aga 1 in this seed. Just going by what we've seen so far. So humbugh heading directly for the Desert Palace, while GFE grabs the item out of the Ice Rock Cave. Might be heading to do a fake flipper.
That really looks like that will be the case. There is no other reason to walk out of the Ice Rock Cave if you do not want to do a fake flipper.
Yeah, it's a right call to make, and it's gonna just do an alternative setup. It's actually the NMG route, just by grabbing the bush and then going to do a specific upright in order to get yourself lined up in the right position to get yourself on the side of the screen and then be able to do that fake flipper.
And we have seen Big Key in Desert Palace was in the chest just, so we can go head over and do the boss, but with the small key on the torch. There will be something of this dungeon boots locked, and biologically the entirety is, as key logic assumes always the worst way for you to spend your keys, so if something is here in desert, you would have, or you would be able to find the boots without those, or without whatever you find here.
Yep. Also, one thing as humbugh is about to approach the Lamp Molus, we still don't know if this is a crystal or a pendant. And the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because when you're doing a dungeon item shuffle, the music gets swapped. So you can't go off the music and say, oh, this is a crystal, oh, this is a pendant. You cannot rely on that. You just have to clear the boss and see what it is. I think that was a can of Samaria on the Zora ledge.
Ooh. That is an interesting piece of information at this early on. Unfortunately, we have not really many things to maybe get access to that yet. Since there are some ways to set up fake flippers to get to Zora Ledge, but we have none of the required items, aside from maybe bombs, and well, that's a scam if I've seen one. And not even a map that we have really used for.
Yeah, we found about the green pendants just from Sahasrara, so that map becomes very useless. Yeah, and actually, since you were mentioning that, yeah, we don't have a bow, so GFE can't do a splash deletion. But Humbug has drawn first blood. That was, in fact, a crystal.
Yep, so gotten the first crystal. Unfortunately, no item that really would help him this much right now. And cannot get to the right side of Desert Palace without that small key that is sitting on the torch. So has to leave 2 items behind here. And now GFE probably intending to do a similar, if not the same play here. Yes, Humbug is getting over to the last location where the moon pearl or further progression could just be from the knowledge we already gained.
Yeah, so at this point, all you really can do that's in logic is Eastern Palace.
Yep. So the lamp would open up the Death Mountain, including the way up to Tower of Error. Same would do the flute without unlocking the Old Man. Of course, the Moon Pearl would just open up the Dark World, or big part of it. So we have a few items that can be here, but there has to be something here.
Yeah, at this point, we exhausted all that we can really do. We found that Zora did not have anything of value on Zora himself, but a can of Samaria was found on the Zora ledge, and we don't have a bow or a magic boomerang to do the splash deletion in order to grab that out of logic.
Yeah, and with the Cane of Samaria being on that ledge, which is also one item you could use to get there, it's getting even a little bit harder, so probably the bow would be your favorite way to get there if you do not find the flippers, to just go there the intended way.
Yeah, exactly. So, GFE finding out that there are in fact 2 items on the left side, so we can't really do much about it. GFE is actually going to leave. What is he trying to do?
Maybe thinking about wanting to do Lamb or not. It's really a strange situation. Because you could kill Lambo, but it's not fully in logic, and you have only the Fire Rod as a really good weapon, which or with limited magic. So
Yeah, and the fact that we don't have half magic to make that fire rod actually more useful is limiting. Because with a fire rod without half magic, it's 8 shots for full magic. There's the boots found in Eastern Palace.
So that's now the right side of Desert Palace open, alongside our boots checks, so Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb. And we have now also a way to get to the waterfall fairy without the moon pearl.
Yeah, and as well as the boots was the blue mail was picked up in the big chest. Humbug gonna go and check out the big key chest. This is out of logic because there is not a torch box in this section of the dungeon.
So, darkroom cleared right now for Humbug. This check will be out of logic for now. Let's see what is in here.
Oh,
Ooh!
speaking of half magic, so now we definitely need we'll need a lamp to make that half magic in logic, and that kind of hurts for GFE because he's going in with not a full magic meter on this Lamo fight. I think this should be okay though. Only one away, and that's gonna be terrible. I think he's gonna use the bombs.
He has 7 bombs, which he, I believe, has to hit 2. Hello!
That's worse.
There's the first sword, right on the bonk rocks, locked behind those boots in Eastern. As GFE will be getting crystal number 1.
Yeah, GFE managed to do it with the bombs. That really hurts for GFE at this point because Humbug now has boots and he has half magic, which is out of logic, and now he finds a sword, which would have been useful for that Lamo fight.
And we have seen both bonk rocks and King's Tomb, but with only that sword, that's no further progression right now. So looks like Desert Palace right side actually is holding on to something.
Yeah, Humbug gonna go up the mountain. This is out of logic, so we know that there can't be anything. Well, there can't be anything that's in logic right now. There could be something later on down the road if you find something of progression there. But aside from that, this is gonna be like he's only have access to the old man. He has access to Hera. He also has access to the Ether Tablet and Spec Rock.
So this is kind of an interesting play right now, because there are only a few items that can really be there, or in the right side of Desert Palace. And if it's the lamp, this plays just fine. Humbug is saving time, as he would never have to find it again. But if it's the Moon Pearl, you have definitely to go over there pretty soon anyway. So going up the mountain now may not be the best timing for it. Could also just be the flippers leading to something in the waterfall fairy, which at some point would be, or had to be, the Moon Pearl. As we are running out of light world checks we can do.
Mm-hmm. Humbug found a map. It's going to go and pick that up because those maps are the most valuable ones to find in a map compass shuffle, and that's going to be the one for Skull Woods.
Yeah, you will need to have or you will need to locate at least the 3 pendant dungeons at some point. And you don't really want to do that by going through the dungeon and clearing the boss just to find out it's abandoned. So there is this interesting balance you have to strike about what maps do you want to collect and find. And hello there, Skullwoods is our second pendant.
Well, that solves that problem. So we're only one away, and we know we're only one pendant away from knowing our pendants, and we know the rest will be at least crystals. We don't know what the 5/6 crystal is. We find out that Ether Tablet only has 10 arrows.
So no need to come back here with a Master Sword later. Don't think we would be that pressed on arrows to ever have to grab those. That's a powder though.
Yeah, that powder does help.
It will be and check as soon as we hit Dark World. Since we already have the mids and the mirror, we have one of the two ways to go over to the magic bed.
Yep, and also finding the big key in the second chest, so we don't necessarily have to go to the... Well, we actually, even then, we still would have to go to the basement either way, because there is going to be items there.
Yeah. Map comp shuffle. It adds 2 more items to each dungeon, as the maps and compasses can now be everywhere. So, no real way to know if you have to do the basement or not if you find the small key. If you do not find it, it's just locked in the basement and you are happy.
Yeah, and speaking of maps and compasses, we find a compass for Pod, and we also find a map for Swamp Palace.
GFE picking up his sword.
And Humbugh is going to fight Moldorm. Now, if this is a pendant, then we know the rest of our crystals. We don't know exactly what our 5/6 crystal is, because we don't have the information for that just yet.
Doing this fight on fire sword is not the most fun thing to do, but beautifully done here by Humbugh.
Yeah, that was clean. And he's going to get a key for the basement. And that is another crystal to Humbugh's name.
Yeah, I mean, with only one pendant left, it was a high probability it was a crystal. But still, getting that small key off of Moldorm is not the thing you wanted to see. But Humbugh biting bullet and heading back in, checking that last item here in Tower of Error. GFE, on the other hand, is deciding to head back over to Desert immediately and see what it's on the right side here.
Yeah, at this point, there's going to have to be something that will, that the logic will require you to go to. So GFA heading back into Desert would be the right play at this point.
GFE trying to head over to the right side, but remembering just in time that you need to grab the small key first.
Yeah, that small key, you definitely need that, because there's only, I mean, how else are you going to have to get those 2 checks on the right side?
Oh, and just bombs here in the basement of Error.
So we have a powder from the Tower of Hera, and that's it. There's a flute.
There's a flute.
So that brings the Hera play back into logic. That brings the powder in logic.
Yeah, but that doesn't help us anything, because we need to that Moon Pearl also. And that is progression.
Yeah, that will be Darkhold access. Now, that doesn't mean Aga 1 is fully dead. There's a couple things to consider as well. Hammer might be somewhere like on the east side of Death Mountain, and if we run out of things on the west side of Death Mountain, we might have to kill Aga 1 for that.
GFE now activating the flute. Will be interesting to see if he heads for the mountain first, or if he just takes the Dark World portal here right now, as he is already here.
Yeah, he could go up to Hera and get the information for Swamp Palace, because there's that map in the big chest that has that. It looks like GFE's gonna do that right now. Or actually heading for... Oh, I like this. Going for especially heading for the Mire area.
Yeah. Didn't think about that. It's actually something I really like to do. Just get the information about Misery Mire requiring Ether today to get entry. Also grab in the Mire shed for 2 items and already also Checkerboard Cave now.
Yeah, and only 20 rupees and 3 bombs in the Mire shed. I'm gonna head for Checkerboard Cave next. It's only 3 bombs, so looks like GFE is gonna just head and go flutes probably over to either Kakariko for. Yeah, he's gonna have a Kakariko for Village of Outcasts. So gonna hold off on that powder for now.
Without the hammer, we have to get to the powder through the Dark World, so he would have to take this way every time. But he was debating it for a second there while fluting, but Jiffy decided, yeah, looks like Skullwood is the play for now. It being a pendant, you might not need to finish it, but there are also 4 items here somewhere.
Now, the reason why GFE decided to go to Skullwoods is that he does not have the information for the information that this is a pendant, because he's never picked up the map for it.
True.
So he's gonna go in blind.
Still, 4 items are here anyway, and we have the means to finish this dungeon, but with only 5 hearts and on Fighter Sword, you not really are eager to fight them off. So maybe just checking for the items really quick. Already found 2.
And again, since GFE does have half magic, like both players have half magic, going to fight Modula is not a bad idea because you have plenty of magic to do so. However, since GFE has only 5 hearts and green mail, that could be a huge issue because the fact that the arena moves as a conveyor and then all the spice move around, it can chip away a lot of health if you're not cautious.
Both runners have blue mail from the trip to Eastern, so you're not losing as much health, but still, those spikes do 1 heart of damage every time.
That's what I meant. Yeah,
regardless.
Really. Even if you do have, even if the runners have blue mail, I completely forgot about that. They'll still do 1 heart regardless of how much health you had. And there's actually the lamp from the Village of Outcasts.
So that's our half magic now logically accessible. But with that flute already found, all it did for now was putting up in logic that have magic and the old man, but that was nothing of value. And does look like we have 2 items in the back of Skull.
Yeah, and GFE can clear this if he is confident enough with his 5 hearts blue mail. And there's the bow picked up in Thieves Town as Humbugh is entering that now.
So that means 1 more boss accessible to us, and there is the map for Tower of Hera. Nothing really of use for Humbugh, as you already collected that crystal. But for GFE, that will be actually valuable information, as he will get that probably for heading up the mountain. So he will know that he has to finish Hera. That's a cave.
That cave is nice, especially if it's really good here because that actually helps GFE out with the Modula fight to a degree. So I'm in on this.
Also, we have the bumper ledge just really close to us right now, so we can immediately head over after this and see if we can get an additional item out of the escape.
Also, since I'm looking at things now, since we have a book and a mirror, I'm thinking GFE could, just after he's done with Mafia, he'll definitely might want to go and check out the pedestal. I mean, not like I'm not like too thrilled about the pedestal because I'm not a pedestal guy, but it does, it's something to consider. So GFE is going to drop down into the Mafia fight while Humbugh continues his trek through Thieves Town. Oh, this is looking smooth.
It's a good start for GFE on this fight.
Excellent.
And gets 20 rupees as a reward and only the blue pendant. So that's probably a bit of a disappointment for him, as he was really hoping to get a crystal here.
Yeah, but since he has a cape in hand, so that opens up the bumper ledge, of course, and looks like GFE's gonna head for that pedestal check right now.
Yeah,
And I'm not really, I'm not too
no
really,
better time
really,
to check it here.
I'm not too really concerned about pedestal. Really, I'm not like Move
But
along.
it's always an option, and if you know you have the green pendant at Thieves Tower, which is a pretty accessible dungeon, and you just got the second pendant already, might as well check and see if it was actually not too bad having collected one pendant.
Yeah, Skullboys is one of those dungeons where you're like right in the path of the pedestal. You can check that right away with the mirror in the book. Yes, as well as pocket change, and I know the chat might be really upset about that, but really I don't care about the pedestal because I don't like the pedestal at all. Hot shots, but anyway, Humbugh on the blind fight, and that was a really clean fight.
Yeah, almost. What's on the script for the most of the time? Just get an unfortunate hit near the end of it, but yeah, not too much of a problem at that point. And GFE taking that mirror now over to Graveyard Ledge. Bumper Ledge with just a heart container, was not interested in picking up that. Just a compass on Graveyard. Oh, hello there. That was a hammer over in the digging game.
So that right there opens up a lot of the Dark World.
Yep. And I just missed that check on Swamp Palace. I believe there was something red. And our tracker confirming it was a red crystal.
That's one of the 5-6 crystals that we know of. Hammer Peg's only finding just a heart piece. Bleh. Gonna go and check out the blacksmiths.
Yeah, with that hammer you could already do hammer peg, so it wasn't really a convenient place to find it. Can now go do the whole tour here. Grab that purple chest, turn it in, check K45 and the Bombos tablet while you're there. Do the powder check. And then head over to Hype Cave and from there, you could even go over to Palace of Darkness if you wanted to, and then do a combined Pod Eastern check.
And Master Sword on the Magic Bat. That is really nice for Humbug.
So I already forgot who was the one that checked the Zora area and knows about the cane.
I
Because
think it was GFE.
so this can become an interesting thing here in the seeds. The longer the flippers are waiting for to be found, Humbug might not be that tempted to head over to the Zora area early. So this knowing about this cane sitting out there on the Zora ledge might be actually a very, very valuable piece of information then for GFE.
Humbug's gonna intentionally leave the chest behind because he's gonna set up for a pretty relatively recent glitch, where if you line yourself up with the guy with the guy with the purple chest, just right up next to him, the game will give you the item for the purple chest, even though the game you don't have it with you. So it's just one of those one frame things.
It's not really one frame. There's quite a big time window for you to grab it, but you have to get it on the first try. If you mirror bonk, for example, you will have lost your purple chest.
Gotcha. So Humbug now gonna check out Bombo's tablet with that Master Sword in hand, and that is going to be a compass that leads for Misery Mire. Not like it really matters because compasses are really useless. Looks like we found out that looks like Pod was a pendant. So we know about our crystals. We don't know what the other 5-6 one is though. Humbug heading for, as I personally like to call it, Cave 73, is because there is really not a lot of hype here.
Well, we will see about that.
Only a heart piece to start off, and followed by another heart piece. Oak shot. Okay, fair enough.
Oak shot and flippers.
Okay, I take that back.
I mean, that's your do swamp palace right now cave here.
It's the swamp cave.
And Humbug saying, okay, I have understood, Seed. I will do just that. GFE in the meantime. Tearing through Thief's Town, having just found that Hammer can now fully completed. Does not get through on the God Pixel here in the hallway, as the enemy just bounced him out of it.
So from the looks of things so far, now we know our crystals. We don't know what the other 5-6 one is. So at this point, we are looking for an ice rod. We know our Cancel area. Where our Cancel area is that we have access to it now. We need medallions. We need Ether Medallion for Misery Mire. We don't know what the other one is. We don't know what Turtle Rock requires. So, I mean, it could also be Ethers to save us a bit of time. And really, I think that's going to be it, because we have our Master Sword from the Magic Bat.
So
So really, we either are looking for three more items, if by chance we need to find out that the ether is also required for Turtle Rock, or 4 items depending on if it's not ether. And there's silver arrows to back it up.
this will make a trip over to Eastern Palace easier, as well as our eventual fight against Vitreous.
GFV picking up the green pendant from Blind. So right here, this is the dungeon I was thinking about, with the fact that there is actually 8 items that you can find here. This is actually the most in-map compass shuffle. So
Yeah, if you do not consider GT in that counting, for all the dungeons that can lead you up to GT, this, with its 8 items, has the most of all of those.
yeah, I don't consider GT, and in my case, of course, GT will always have the most items in any single dungeon, even if you don't put a map compass shuffle. But in terms of the main 7 dungeons in the Dark World, and if you also add in the other 3, like say Hyrule Castle and all that, that is going to be the maximum. Again, excluding GT.
In theory, you could add 1 item to it if you have it as a green pendant. So beating it will give you an additional check. But yeah.
There's the big key. This dungeon alongside Skull Woods is a dungeon that you don't need the big key in order to progress to the back. You just need to find the just like small key and you're good to go. The big key in the vanilla game is just to give you the items that you would need to take out the boss for it. So hook shot and fire rod.
Only hard piece in the big chest here, though.
To answer a question in chat, the hookshot was found in Hype Cave along with the flippers.
Yeah, so I'd imagine finding those 2 will prompt GFE to just head over to Swamp Palace. And I believe that was a compass on the Bombos tablet.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So nothing on the tablets or on the pedestal, but that book was necessary to grab the Moon Pearl, and you got the flute alongside it.
Yeah, at that point in time, really, you had access to Desert Palace from the front, and there was no other way to get to the back, so you had to grab the Moon Pearl from there, that big chest, alongside your flute. Anyway, on to the Argus fight for Humbug. All we really got to do is to hookshot all of the Argai, and just after that, just either a single silver arrow shot, and you're good, or just do a fire rod shot, and you're also good. But he's gonna do the silver arrow shot.
Nailed it. Gets Quake. So this could be a possible needed medallion for Turtle Rock. We don't know just yet.
Yeah. So Quake Argus is not bad. Again, we don't know what is required for Turtle Rock, but we do have access to it, and there is another crystal. I'm not looking for the other 5-6, but when the 5-6 one's not there, so I think Humbug might just end up going over to the potion shop, or not the bomb shop, I'm sorry, to find out what the other 5-6 crystal was.
Yep, it looks like it.
Afterwards, Humbug has all the stuff he needs, and it's going to be an Eastern Palace.
It's dungeon we can already clear right now, so might even do that next, and then maybe return to get grab that red bone. Check an oboe on the way.
Yeah, since he has the flippers in hand, this hobo check is now in logic. GFE had done it earlier when he was fake flippering. It's not really anything of use.
I'd say compass to a dungeon you already full cleared. Not the most valuable thing.
Oh, definitely not. Yeah, especially and even then, a compass is not really good because it just gives you an item tracker. It's pretty much useless.
But then you know where the boss hides.
Right, but who even checks the map in a dungeon?
GFE getting his servers now.
Humbug gonna check out Sahasrara for a heart container.
So Thieves Town with what was it? It was something in the front. I forgot. But that was all that there was.
And to answer a question in chat, the King of Samaria was found on the Zora Ledge. And GMP has the information for that because he did the Zora check and only found pretty much nothing that he really cares about on Zora.
So, right, there was the bow in Thieves Town. So, really, the trip over to Thieves Town was not actually necessary now with the other bow bin and Swamp Palace. You never had a real reason to go into Thieves Town to grab something. Interesting.
Now, Humbug in Palace of Darkness here, and there's the Ether Medallion.
That one you will need, definitely, as we already know it is our entry into Misery Mire.
Yeah, and since the one thing Humbug does not have over GFE is the aforementioned King of Samaria knowledge from the Zora Ledge. He has access to it, of course he does not know if that's the case, so the fact that the King of Samaria is on the Zora Ledge and GFE has knowledge, that could probably bring GFE closer to the lead. But now that the Ether Medallion was also found in Pod, that could also be a big problem. GFE heading for the Argus fight. And Humbug is gonna set up for the... Actually, no, he's gonna just bomb the thing, making it a little bit quicker. Just don't have to bomb it when he's doing the Dark Maze. There's the big key. And the ice
There's
rod.
the ice rod.
Okay, so that is looking... So far... Well, technically, we are in no mode.
Not just yet.
Right, we technically no mode because we know that GFE has the Canvas of Mario knowledge.
We have no information about what Medallion Third Rock actually is, and with bombos not being seen so far, we might be, but we don't know.
Right. It's a Schrodinger's no mode, I guess.
GFE having a disadvantage here on the Argus fight, being on only the fighter sword, the double spin strats. A little bit harder here, as only the spins damage the little Argai, so you can't just compensate a missed spin with a slash or 2 slashes. Also, the second phase, if you do not land the silver, is getting a bit tedious, but GFE does get it quite fast still. And humbugh is heading over to Helmasaur King here, despite knowing that it should be in Pendant Dungeon.
Of course, he's probably gonna check the item here, so there's still an item remaining, I believe. I'm remembering the key logic for this.
Oh, what's the pot map? Or yeah, I was stopped to myself there, but he actually might not know, as the pot map might be somewhere he didn't get. So yeah, will be unfortunate for him, maybe here.
Now, if Humbug finds bombos on the Helmasaur King, then that does help Humbug out here. So, looks like GFE didn't see anything of use from the pyramid ledge.
And is now taking the time and head over to Catfish and probably grab his cane of Samaria on the way.
Yeah, at this point, since you have the materials to find your Cane of Samaria, GFE has the knowledge for it. Gonna grab that now.
And there might be then the decision for GFE. If he decides to get into Palace of Darkness, he might just opt to not do Helmasaur King, as he gets not only the Mire access, but also getting the Ice Rod. There is bombos. So at this point, we are in no mode. We just don't know which item is required in the end.
Yeah, for GFE, he's in that Schrodinger situation because he does not have the. Oh, no, so we are in no mode. It's full on no mode because Humbug has the ether from Pod. He would have to go all the way over to. Humbug would have to go after Eastern Palace up to Catfish to get the Bombo, so it would leave no shroud of doubt that we have all three medallions. We're fine. We don't care what medallions required for that dungeon. Just go and clear it out, and you'll be fine. Jiffy grabbing the Cane of Samaria. answer a question in chat, but to answer a question in chat, the Ether Medallion was found on a pod.
Oh, and now it looks like GFE is heading for Eastern Palace first and not intending to do Desert Palace, so here the information about Pot being a pendant might actually hurt him. In combination with having that cane, so he has quite a few options open. On the other hand, humbugh not opting to head over to Catfish and then go over to the Zora area. Instead, heading up the mountain. Now completely open, except for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it is open. Yeah, it's not where humbugh needs to go. GFE might be able to catch up, and since GFE hasn't cleared out Hera, in fact, he can actually Hera pot this to make this a lot quicker if he decides to do that.
On the other hand, GFE has not gotten that powder, so when he will find it, he will probably not, or is not very likely to actually grab that sword of that. So he might be down a sword here.
Yeah, that is true. We need at least a Master Sword to kill Ganon. So if GFE goes up the mountain and does not find a sword of some sort, he needs to find that he needs to find the powder in order to get that sword, that Master Sword.
First of all, he will have to get into Palace of Darkness at some point to grab the Ether Medallion and the Ice Rod. So as long as he does not do that, he is not in a good position right now.
Yeah, humbugh is currently in a good spot. Of course, he is climbing the mountain. Still is without Cane of Samaria. He needs to go over to Zora Ledge for that. But doing the mountain here, it shouldn't be that terrible because you have Dark Depth Mountain to do. You have Hookshot Cave. You have you don't have Spike Cave in logic, but technically you could try and do that if he still has that blue potion.
And now, I believe the 14 half might even enable him to just run through there at full health.
Actually, now that I think about it, does humbugh have the cape? If he does, then Spike Cave is in logic. There's Quake. So he's good.
Yeah, so that Bombos Medallion on Catfish was not necessary.
So yeah, humbugh will save some time going to do Catfish, from doing Catfish here, so. Oh, looks like GFE is going to do the bomb, the big bomb.
He just cleared both red crystals. And this might actually be good for him here, as that would enable him still to reasonably head over to Palace of Darkness after it. Although he could just float over to 5 at any time he wants to do so.
Yep, and humbugh gonna do Spiral Cave. Now, if GFA finds a sword here, then yeah, full on he's good. He just needs to do Pod and he's in go.
Yeah, but on the other hand, he also has that mountain open to him, which might be more attractive than the only 7 items in Palace of Darkness. Gets a fairy from the fairy. And does take out the mirror, so does not look like he wants to do Pod just yet. This might hurt him here. heading up the mountain instead, so we'll probably full clear everything that is accessible to him here. And this possibly could also include a trip into Turtle Rock at this point.
Mm-hmm. Humbugh. He's actually in a good spot to check out Zora Ledge as well, if he decides to go up the Catfish. Of course, it's Bombo, so he doesn't know that. But since he knows that both Mystery Mire and Turtle Rock are their respective Ether and Quake medallions, he shouldn't really have to worry about that.
This check right here will most likely be followed up with that play over to Catfish, and then there is no reason to not mirror over and check the water checks. And as soon as he sees that cane, he will know that he's in go mode. Finding a sword or an additional sword getting up to tempered would be nice, but will not be necessary, as it would make the fight for Ganon easier, but it is doable with Master Sword. And since we found silvers, that fourth phase isn't even that terrible.
Not at all, really. So if the best thing he can really find here is if he finds like a tempered sword in Ganon's tower while he's looking for the big key, that would be very vital. Otherwise, he should be fine with 15 hearts, blue potion in reserve, along with silver arrows. This is not a problem for him.
GFE trying to set up an hook speed Herapod here. Got it.
Gets it. Nice. It's one of the many Herapod setups that some people have found, with the hook speed Herapod being the fastest if you can do it correctly.
And there was humbugh spotting his go mode item.
Yeah, you don't really need to check you don't even check Zora at this point.
Nope.
You know what your go mode item is, so he's gonna grab that can of Samari, and he'll be go mode at 1:10:45.
You could have possibly checked Zora for getting an additional sword, but sitting through that cutscene in Pan 5 from 100 rupees, not really that necessary for getting just a better sword here. And now we are going on to Ice Palace for humbugh. Meanwhile, GFE finishing off Moldorm, getting that Hera Crystal. And we'll probably continue here on the mountain.
Yeah, really, if the fact that we found our go modes, our rest of the go mode items was for Ether and Ice Rod or Impended Pod, something that GFE could have done but opted to go up the mountain instead. That hurts. So, and plus he doesn't have a Master Sword either way. He would need to get the powder. He has the powder in hand. Has not gone up to Magic Bat to make that play possible. Yeah, this just does not feel well for GFE whatsoever.
Nope, humbugh already starting to go mode Ice Palace here. Not checking anything more than necessary or what's conveniently on the way.
Alright, at this point, GFB doing his Paradox Cave checks. A little bit of difficulty with the bomb jump, but he's able to do it on his third attempt. Love the fairy drop from Humbug, putting him in a lot more health than normal. A little bit more health than he came in with. So, just dash down the stairs, go out to fight Cold Stare.
Not even checking the freezer chest. Seems to be intended to just finish as fast as possible and just hope on an additional sword in GT, if at all.
Yeah, for Humbug, the fact that he was able to... The fact that he might have found the canister Mario like a lot later, he might feel like that he's behind. But then again, he was able to make the play for Pendant Pod, which that definitely felt well. So he might be considerably in the lead. Just the fact that the Mario was there might have thrown him into a position where like, oh, it's right there. Could have checked it a little bit earlier. Oh well, I should be fine nonetheless.
Making good use of the fire rod against Cold Stare. With half magic, you have plenty shots to use of. Gets it done rather fast. And GFE making a play towards Turtle Rock here. This is really unfortunate here. He will be able to go all the way down to Laser Bridge to not find anything really helpful here. Though there might be his Master Sword weapon around.
Yeah, but for Humbug, this is a go mode dungeon that best kind of go mode dungeon that he can actually ask for at this point. So Humbug gonna go immediately heading for Ms. Meyer, going to use that Ether Medallion to make that just go and open it up. Just having this thing rise from the top, from the ashes. Just carrying the bird along.
Yeah. Might have wanted to have a friend here in this dungeon.
So this will be a very quick dungeon for Humbug, provided that he finds the big key pretty early.
Yeah. That big key has to be located. But if he does find it early, it's at least not in the first chest, but there's still one more early chest here on the right side. Nope, we have to dig deeper.
Yep, going to go to the right, and we're not talking about the Nether. Anyway, yeah, just heading for the left side. It's gonna be in there. Just pray to to Lady Hylia herself that it's not on cutscene chest. It has to be in this fire chest, this firelock chest here. Nope.
It's not here.
A bit of a swerve. Gonna check out this compass chest. Red mail. Okay, not bad. I mean, it's at this. It's not like what Humbug really wants because he's at 15 hearts.
Banking on the 50-50 for it to not be in the cutscene chest. Gets it.
Bingo.
GFE making all the possible checks, mirroring over to Mimic Cave here.
Yeah, this still really, really hurts for GFE.
Humbug. Doing some spooky stuff here, flipping switches that are not on the screen, using the spooky action glitch.
Yeah, this is a really complicated glitch that has to do with setting a altitude variable called ancilla, and with that you can do some crazy things with it. But Humbug is going to go and fight the Vitreous fights, and this fight is going to be really blazing fast. Just gotta shoot down those mini eyeballs and you're good to go. I have to compare this to a game of Space Invaders. Just shoot down the big eyeball and you're good to go.
No sword here in Mystery Maya for Humbug. We'll have to tackle Turtle Rock on Master Sword. And also the small key on Laser Bridge in the first chest. But there's the Master Sword, which I don't know how Humbug will or usually tackles his Laser Bridge, but I could imagine that he will just take the small key and say that's enough. And if so, that will be just a little bit unfortunate here, as he seemingly dead rocks himself a little bit.
Yeah, I really, at this point, with the fact that he has red mail and all that, really, I think the best that he can really find is just a tempered sword in Ganon's Tower. But even then, the fact that he has Master Sword, this shouldn't take him too long because he has a potion. He has potions. He has the red mail. He'll be taking a lot less damage over time. And eventually gets dead right there.
So GFE now has set up his Turtle Rock portal in a way that he can re-access it if he does find the Ice Rod soon. But immediately does use the mirror again. So this portal is lost. Is going back for the item in Tower of Hera. Humbug is tackling his 7th crystal. But as we know, nothing in the basement of Hera to find for GFE. And now heading over to Spy Cave. For a big amount of rupees, but no progression here. Has to leave and search on a different spot. Now Heaven Hammer and Flute GFE does take his newfound powder and is immediately checking the magic pad, so will get his tempered sword. But still has no access to Misery Maya, has no way to beat Tronix just now. On the other hand, Humbugh here in Turtle Rock can just steal the small carry from the pokey here, and
Oh, wait, we found another sword. Where was that?
it was on Laser Bridge on the second chest. So chances are Humbugh will actually skip it if he does the Laser Bridge chest from the top down.
That does somewhat hurt for Humbugh, but then again, he's in a cruising position. It's not like it really matters. GFA heading for Ice Palace again. This really hurts.
Yeah, he probably tried to go mode it to the maximum possible extent, but with still Ether Medallion to find and the Ice Rod missing, probably not go moding it in. Yeah, check and Pam gate the chest already. Which Humbugh didn't have to do. Gets the red boomerang out of it.
It's red. It's not blue, but.
It at the very least is an additional menu spot, so if you do not like having a blank space there to menu over, something. And indeed, Humbugh skipping out on the tempered sword, grabbing the small key and saying, "Okay, I'm done here."
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not like it's really gonna hurt Humbugh. He's got silver arrows and he's got red mail with 16 hearts. This should be a pretty easy Ganon fight, even though it's kind of slow.
Yeah. The worst possible scenario would be not having silvers to have then to do 24 Master Sword spins in phase 4. But since that's not necessary, you have just to clear those first 2 phases, and they are doable. Although a little bit slow.
Yeah, and he's got half magic, and he'll have like plenty of potions. Like I think he still has that blue potion in reserve. So, even if he were doing Master Sword serverless, doing those 52 spins should not be a big deal. But since he's got silver arrows, it's still perfectly fine.
Yeah, on the other hand, also having only Master Sword for Trinix is a little bit inconvenient, as it's not as fast to kill Trinix there. Was opting to use the hammer on the first phases for the both heads, but doing Master Sword slashes for the second
there's a fire shield, and that's going to be 7 crystals for Humbugg's name. So I think the bot's still down. But inside Ganon's tower, there are 22 locations where the big key could potentially be. Get your guesses in chat where you think the big key might be. Let's go with. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit tired today, so I'm gonna say 15.
I'm usually going with that 3. Because there will one day be a madman doing it and just getting that big key in the tile room. And then all my dreams will have come true.
Alright then.
At least in Rando.
Yeah. I get you, man. I get you. Alright. 21 chests in a torch is what Humbugh has to go through to find a big key. Let's do this. Starting.
Going left first.
Going left. Yeah, 50 rupees for chest. Well, check number 1. Obviously not gonna grab that. Heading for the Stalfos room. For chest number 2, we have 10 arrows. Number 3, key. Number 4, 50 rupees. And number 5, 10 arrows. Heading for the right.
And this is probably the most taken route currently. So, not doing any experiments here.
At this point, with the fact that there's 2 arrows for 6 and 7, 2 keys for 6 and 7, you definitely want to committing to that dark magician routing here.
Nice cold stir fight from GFE there, having that tempered sword, and that is number 8, if I counted correctly.
Yeah, that was number 8. Kingdom Burna, and that's all she wrote. Gonna climb up that tower.
Yeah, so not finding that cape, not really a problem for Humbugh here. Gets in Cane of Burner if he really wants to make his Ganon fight possibly a little bit easier. The unfortunate thing though with the Cane of Burner active, you cannot do spins, so you can only use it to maybe dodge those fire bats to get yourself into a better position.
And looking at our chat, I find Mystic Blue Slime being the one to guess number 8. So congratulations, you have my respect.
And GFE has done about everything else and is now heading over to Palace of Darkness. Only thing, I don't know, I think he did everything he could have. He had no way into Mile until now.
This is looking to be a pretty smooth gauntlet so far.
Yeah, unfortunately that one red Zek not wanted to walk, or didn't want to walk far enough to be pushed into the spikes. I had to take a little double trap there.
Heading for a Lamb Molus 2. This will be a quick 1, 2, 3. Oh, never mind.
And unfortunately misses the one.
It's okay though. It's just come up in the next cycle and shoot him down.
And there's Ether for GFE.
He's finally doing pod. Yeah, this is gonna be really painful for GFE once he finds the ice rod. Probably gonna be waiting for that done once Humbug finishes here.
Humbugh also unfortunately missing the last of the withropes in the second withrope room. It is a very tight timing there, and sometimes you are just a little bit off. It happens.
Yeah, it is tight timing. I actually got it on one of my challenge cup races. And actually without any proper setup, I just did it. And I know how tough that timing is. Yeah, looks like he's
And not even interested in checking any more chests up here.
Yeah, gonna leave the final 4 chests behind here.
He
Wait.
might do these 2 chests still, as he has to grab the fairies and might as well. Who wants to refill? But not checking the mini Helmasaur chests.
Oh no, GFE never got the ice rod from Pod.
Oh, just doing the front of Pod, hoping for the second item there, but then bailing. This was the unfortunate thing.
Yeah, that's gonna sting really, really bad. Oh, not a bad pickup from the Moldrum 2 chest. A fairy in a bottle.
Getting the last bottle, and weapon safety for the gun fight is probably the second best thing you could have found here after the Tempered Sword.
Yeah, it does help here. Going to fight the Aga 2 fight.
Gets a double to start it off. Just a single on the next. Solid Aga 2 fight.
Yeah, very, very solid. Now I'll have to fight the Ganon fight. Okay, so this is going to be a spin fest for most of the fight here.
Yeah, so has to do 12 spins for the first 2 phases each. Gets some nice double spins here. And a few more here, so should be done with phase 1 here.
Yeah, and with that red mail in hand, this makes the Ganon fight a lot more easier, doing less damage after doing less damage than normally if you get hugged by Ganon or hit by the fire bats. This is doing the double spins here really helps. Just using that hook shot to get that invulnerability frames to pass through those fire bats. Just a quick navigation.
And another very nice position to do the last spins here.
And he knows that's going to be enough, so he's going to just do a couple more spins just to be safe.
Not getting early enough hit to prevent the first fire bit from getting off.
Yeah, it's okay though. It's not like that fire bat is painful, so. Alright, one more should do it. Yep, now on to phase 4. And oh no, silver, my one true weakness. Found those silver arrows in Swamp Palace. We've also found the bow in, I forget when.
Thieves Town was the first one.
Thieves Town, right.
And very nice setup here. Unfortunately not getting that triple. Ooh,
Doesn't set up a torch glitch. Doesn't really matter though, because he has those silver arrows in hand. Don't really need to set up a torch glitch that way. And well, that's gonna do it. Get your GGs in chat for Humbug, and all he has to do to move on to the round of 64 and eliminate GFE is to cross the 1x3 bridge, and he will be set for life. And he has done it. And he has finished with a time of 1:38:51. And speaking of Humbug, here he is right then and there. GG.
Thank you. GG.
If you don't mind, you want to wait for GFE, that's totally fine.
Yeah, of course.
While we wait for TFE, maybe just a quick look at the schedule for today. Next restream scheduled is at 4:50 p.m. Eastern here on Speed Gaming with the match Top Life versus Maximum Barnage. Then later on the evening there are 2 more restreams for now at 6:50 p.m. on Speed Gaming 2 and then at 8:20 on a Link to the Past Randomizer. First match being A0 versus Koi and the later match being I Am the Schwartz versus Dirac. And looks like we have GFE here with us now, so also GG to you.
GG.
GG's. Rando gonna rando.
Yeah, unfortunately. So for Humbug, what made you decide to go over to the pendant pod?
I mean, I didn't know it was a pendant. I didn't get the map. I don't think I ever found the map for the pod. But I mean, I could full clear it. It was 7 items, and I wanted to do Eastern anyway, since I just found out that it was a red crystal. So that's why I went over there.
And I'll interject here. My worst mistake in the entire game was YOLOing race game, because that's where the pod map was. Yep.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, that does hurt. Yeah. Also for Humbug, and I know GFE found the Cancer Mario a little bit earlier on in the race. He had the information throughout the race, and then when do you feel when you found the Samaria once, and that was for your go mode item?
I mean, both good and bad actually. I debated with myself whether to dip ice or do the pyramid catfish Sora checks, but I really wanted to go ice. I love that. So it felt good in that regard, but I didn't know if I was ahead or if I was behind. I had actually no idea, because I was looking for that cane for quite a while.
Yeah, I was personally thinking that you were, after finding the ice rod in what would have eventually become pendant ice, or pendant pod, it felt like you were ahead around that period until eventually you find the Samaria. You're kind of like, but you should be fine either way. And yeah, it ended up to being what had happened. And
yeah. So I'm gonna be curious to watch this one back, because as I was going through Turtle Rock, I was saying to myself, I can hear the commentators now saying, this makes a lot of sense. Ice Rod's in here quite often. We just know today it's not going to work out because it's in pendant pod. I was just imagining.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I could imagine that conversation.
Yeah, it felt like it felt kind of alright to do, because a Fire Rod and Samaria, you could definitely go all the way to Laser Bridge and hope that the Ice Rod's there. of course, just didn't work out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, normally I would do Pendant Pod. It's not a bad play. It often pays out. But I had already full cleared Pendant Skullwoods. I'd already full cleared Pendant Thieves Town, and needed to make some kind of gamble to catch up. So I just, I hoped Pod was garbage, and it was the only pendant that mattered. So today, that's just how it ended up.
Yeah. So outside of that, though, if you got any final thoughts for you both, sign off. Sign it off.
I really don't
well-
like MC Shuffle. That's for sure. It's annoying.
I mean,
I kind of felt like just make it key sanity, not some in between. This was actually my first MC Shuffle that I have done, and it felt so weird. It was extremely weird to me.
Yeah, with map and compass shuffle, it's a nice in between because you don't have to go all over the place for like a big key go mode or whatever. It saves you the hassle of finding a big key like out somewhere like I don't know, in like Laser Bridge or on pedestal or something like that. It's a fine enough. Of just having to keep track of all sort of things, even though you still have to keep track of like, a bunch of maps, what's required, like what is a pendant, what's a crystal, etc.
Mm-hmm. But I don't mind the running around looking for big keys. I mean I play cross keys a lot, so I've gotten used to that. But just the maps and the compass as well. It was fun though, and thank you very much for hosting and commentating and tracking and everything.
yeah, I'd like to thank you guys, and as you could see, also thank Vitor and all the other wonderful guys that worked on this. Definitely give them thanks.
Yeah, and I wish you two good luck in your future endeavors.
Thank you.
And
Yeah, good luck, Humbug, going forward. This group matchup with Humbug and Sailor Nap and Yagamoth was honestly a pretty rough group to be in. So I hope he does a good job in the brackets and makes it pretty far. It's going to be a rough field. So good luck, man.
Thank you. I'll need a lot of it. So.
yeah, definitely, man. And with that, I think that should be all that we have to do here. So definitely give both GFE and Humbug a nice hearty follow. If you're watching this back on Twitch, it should be well, you should be providing the links over in the chat. We have GFE12, twitch.tv/GFE_12, and twitch.tv/humbug with 2 H's at the end. And of course, I'd like to give a huge shout out to our tracker, OssGeek. Definitely give him a follow at twitch.tv/OssGeek, OSS Geek. And of course, my good commentator, Roland Tankier, definitely give him a follow, and of course myself as well. If you want to watch more of the Link to the Past 2019 Randomizer tournament, definitely give the Speed Gaming family of channels, Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, as well as ALTTP Randomizer and ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 5. And of course, follow our other multilingual channels, Dutch, French, Spanish, all of that. And with that, that's gonna do it for us. So until next time, I'll see ya.